Hello everyone, welcome to the channel today. So for today's reading, I'm going to do a message from your body. So we'll see what comes through. Today we're using the Astro aligned cards to pick piles. So let's have a look at which piles we have today. Okay, so we've got pile 1. Let's see pile 2. There's pile 3 and pile 4. Alright, so let's take a look at the cards today. So for pile 1, you have Jupiter with optimism, growth, and opportunity. For pile number 2, you have Cancer with nurturing, sensitive, and caring. For pile number 3, you have Taurus with tactile, grounded, and stable. And for pile number 4, you have Eros with eroticism, desire, and sex. Okay, so these will be your 4 piles today. I will be doing the shuffling portion of the video, but down below you'll be able to go straight to your pile that you've picked, or whichever piles are calling to you today. I'll leave you here to contemplate which ones are calling to you. Otherwise, I'll see you in the shuffling process. Hello everyone, welcome to the shuffling portion of the video. So today was an interesting one, a message from your body. I believe Archangel Haniel is coming through for this reading as well to help facilitate it, I guess, or help with the message, because of course there's only 4 piles and there's obviously more people in the world than 4, but this is going to be a message to help you either appreciate, or a message from your body about what your body needs or what you need. So really interesting kind of topic, I guess. I kept it open and broad when I was shuffling. I was like, before stream I always shuffle the cards with the intention of the message, which was a message from your body for each pile, whatever they will be. Okay, so pile 1, pile 2, this one is pile 4 and pile 3. Okay. But I believe we're coming into Leo season soon. It's also the 17th of the 7th today. Right now it's 2:12. In Australia. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Give me this one. Okay. Also getting another one of these cards. Well, alright, so we've got the first house, which is interesting. It's talking about body and kind of popped in between, but I'm feeling like it's more going here, so I'll put this here. But if you are watching the shuffling and you needed to you weren't sure which one to pick, here might be the answer to what you were looking for. Put it up. I'll put it upside down. This card doesn't come out often either, Eros. I haven't pulled it before, so really interesting. I pulled all the rest, Jupiter, Cancer, Taurus, in readings before, but never Eros. So it might be needing to take care of some needs, let's say. Let's just say that. Some desires. Alright, so these are the tarot. Alright, pile 1, I'm getting these two. 2 and 2. Got 3. Okay, 3. And I'm gonna take, shuffle a bit. Okay, these two. Alright. And lastly, the Modern Love Tarot. Pile 1. Okay. Alright, so that concludes the shuffling portion of the video. Thank you for sharing your energy and being here for this reading. What I'll do is I'll put the timestamps down below in the description, or you can just drag the thingy across straight to your reading. Otherwise, take care and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So this is a message from your body. My intention with this is just to see what your body needs, or maybe a reminder of something that you need as well. I mean, you and your body are one in this lifetime. So you have to take care of not just your soul, but your body as well, or your core of who you are, let's say, consciousness, subconsciousness, and the physical form you are in. So, you've chosen Jupiter with optimism, growth, and opportunity. This is a really nice start, because it's like kind of feels like there's some one options, of course, with opportunity. And maybe it's stepping into that if you choose to, or feel called to start to go, yeah, I do. I've just kind of been holding off, let's say. Alright. So you've also got the waxing gibbous moon with nurturing, patience, and refinement. I'm going to say whatever this is, if this is like health, it's making sure you take your time with it. Like, you know, there's no like full moon, new moon kind of energy. It's not one to the other. It's like the whole cycle. If it is about, say, exercise or something like that, this body is your 3D world. It doesn't always have to be just about the actual like exercise. But if this is what something that you've been thinking of, or health-wise, making sure you take your time with it. There's no rush to get anywhere. If you don't see results straight away, that's because everything takes time. It's like telling a 3-year-old, why are you not in college or something like that. It takes time. They have to learn a lot of stuff to be able to get into, you know, wherever they're going, whatever path they choose, right? You wouldn't say that to a child, so shouldn't think so harshly if the results don't come, or think harshly of your own efforts. Okay. Alright, so you've got the turkey spirit, give with gratitude and grace. This is such a really, really kind of like you would say basic, but it's a very strong, simple message of looking after yourself in a way of appreciation. So when we're talking about the body appreciation, sometimes that can be like looking into a mirror and reminding yourself how you care about yourself or love yourself. Because if we're honest with ourselves and we look back sometimes, we treat our body quite harshly, right? Sometimes if we're depending on our mood or emotions, we might shove like not great substances into our body, or when I'm talking about smoking or any other kind of like chemicals or anything like that, we will sometimes shove a whole bunch of food with like processed things and all that kind of stuff. And look, do what you will, but we can be kind of harsh with our bodies and almost disrespect ourselves, right? Sometimes if we think about it, if someone came up to us and said the harsh things that we say to ourselves, including our body, we would run a mile from them, right? But when we're thinking about it from ourselves, we can be kind of critical, self-critical. So I think this is like a good opportunity for growth, change that you want to see. Not that anyone's telling you to do. It's what you want to see and what you want to push forward with, I'll say. We'll start to look into. But yeah, give yourself the time, give yourself the love and care as well, because we put our bodies through a lot. That's all I want to say. Sorry, if it's a bit noisy, it's just started raining. Okay. So you have Divine Presence, the force of love and creation. This is really nice, especially right next to optimism. It's like, start to make sure you care as much about others as you care about yourself, especially. That's how this is feeling, even though it's not necessarily what the card kind of generally will mean. It's kind of seeing yourself as, how there's that saying, treat your body as a temple or something like that. It's kind of touching on that. But I think it's like, just look after yourself and make the changes you want to see that respect yourself. So give yourself credit for the things that you do for others as well, and do unto yourself is kind of like how it's coming through, which is like unto is very kind of biblical or whatever, or like historical kind of like sayings. But anyway, the force of love and creation, and know that this is you. Like, you are the same as what you kind of devote your spiritual practices to, one and the same. So if you're disrespecting yourself or being harsh and critical with yourself, you're also being harsh and critical with others. So like, you radiate that, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Pretty much just be nice. Be nice to yourself. You also have Mercury with open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. This is interesting. Weight off your chest, kind of, even though that's not what the communication section is, but the weight might be about weight, right? It might be just like, either if you want to lose it or even if you don't, that's okay. It's up to you. But being good to yourself, like I want to keep saying, just be kind to yourself, be nice to yourself, treat yourself. Like, the communication is be honest with yourself as well. Be true about how you actually feel. If you don't feel great about yourself, then at least express it and then try to work with why you feel that and understand it. It's not about being harsh with yourself in that sense, or just like blindly going, oh, everything's fine, I love myself and everything's fine. But if you don't really feel it, then it's not true. So it's about being honest. Okay, interesting. I might just move this one here because I think we're going to have a bit of a gap otherwise. Alright, and you've got Embrace the Moment. This one quite strongly is about being in the present moment. So you can kind of notice it sometimes if you're working and you're going to go on holiday the next day. Sometimes you'll already be in holiday mode, and then when you're on holiday, near the end of the holiday, you'll already be on the plane. Of like the last few days, you'll already be on the plane, or you'll be like the last day of holidays, or even on the plane, you'll be already back at work, like mentally. This is about being present in what's around you now, instead of planning all the stuff to like, I want to go see this. That's fine as well, go do that. But also, once you're there, experience it, like be in that moment, be like kind of like connected with your surroundings. Instead of being like, okay, so I've done this, now I need to go do this. You know what I mean? It's about being present. That's all I'm trying to say. Embrace the moment. Embrace the now. Right now, what are you doing? How do you feel about your body? What are you wearing? Like, what are you, not what are you wearing, but like, what are you comfortable? That's what I mean. Like, are you comfortable? Are you happy? Are you warm. You know, be grateful that you're able to like snuggle up in bed or wherever you are at the moment, or being able to watch this on the move and be in a comfortable seat, that kind of thing. Just you are present by listening to this, and also your body is present in taking notice of what's being said here, and also your surroundings, because you'll be listening to this, but you're not physically here, but you're also physically surrounded by whatever's around you at the moment, whether you're kind of like half watching TV or something like that. Okay, so these ones will come through reversed, but maybe reversed, but I'm reading them upright for the purpose of this reading. I just didn't flip them all before shuffling. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Swords, and I do feel like, again, this is touching on being honest with yourself. Not limiting yourself as well with this little bird in a cage. I know I'm saying a lot of knots, but it's just like like overall it's about being good to yourself, being kind to yourself. Again, it really wants to touch back on this optimism, honesty, being present, being grateful, because you know you can be grateful for whatever it is. 2 legs, being able to grab things with your hands, you know, not having any issues with grasp, so you can eat or you know whatever, work, do things. It can be just as small as that, because sometimes we take granted for those kind of things. Not everyone has the ability to do that. You know, everyone has different unique lives and different unique challenges and problems and that kind of stuff, and blessings as well, like abilities and blessings and all that kind of thing. So being grateful for that as well. Okay, and you also have the Four of Cups. This is definitely touching on being honest. This is not shying away from being very honest with yourself, because we can watch a lot of like feel good stuff, and then that can help. You know, sometimes being in that environment is helping, but if there's some underlying issues, then they're going to bubble up eventually. So you can pile on the stuff to like sweeten it, but maybe it's time to like be honest with yourself, be true. You know, I'm unhappy about this, but I'm not going to let that stop me from doing something about it, you know, something like that, you know, something empowering, being honest, and then looking for solutions and empowerment, not just wallowing in it, just actually being honest, and then looking forwards or planning for what you can do. Because these two are, this is kind of like the disappointed card, right? And those rose-tinted glasses. Sometimes we can see things as overly cherry without expressing how we actually feel. Maybe this is to others too. This could be all about others in a sense. Maybe giving weight to too much weight to other people's opinions. And while we can't control them, if we need to get something off our chest, for sure do that. Embrace that moment when it comes, if it comes, and if you plan for it to occur in your physical world. Okay, so we have Seven of Cups. What to do? I do like that. It's like opportunities, but sometimes too much opportunities makes it harder to choose what to do. And you've got the Tower card. It's interesting with body and Tower. It's just like maybe there is a change that you have been thinking about for many years, and you know that it's like yeah I've heard it before and I've tried different things, they just don't work. I think it's great that you're trying different things. If you are, there's something that's right for you. And if you've tried so many things and they're still not working, maybe there's something else to be looked at in regards to that. Like why is that important to you? What would that bring? What kind of feelings do you want back into your life? Like, is it love and care? Is it health and fitness? Is it connection with other people? Like, what is it? Because it's got to be true to you. And then I feel like this is more in your hands. Otherwise, eventually, not like it sounds like I'm threatening, but it's not. It's like eventually something's got to kind of give, right? And the universe has many ways of like leveling things out. So if something's overdone, like your work, you end up getting sick, and then you have to have time off. You know what I mean? So it's like a Tower moment. It's not like a big life-changing thing, but it's something that pulls you back into like, okay, you're not going to rest. We'll give you a flu, and then you can kind of mellow out for a bit, calm down, and then get back into it. So some people, you see people do that. They crash and burn, crash and burn, crash and burn, crash and burn, like a yo-yo, because that's how they've just decided to live their life instead of, maybe moving slow, and they realize, and then, taking some self-care, maybe just calming the waters instead of this big ripple all the time. So I feel like you've got a lot of opportunities. Be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself as well, and the changes you want to implement. Because I think with this reading, you're already kind of at the doorway of what this may be about. This isn't new to you. This isn't oh, I didn't even think about that. But maybe there's a few things that you didn't think about to look at the situation, which is always a good being open, because I do believe there's either something psychological or even physical that you might want to look at. Obviously, not a doctor. This isn't a patient kind of connection relationship here. This is reading cards, and then you helping empower you to do what you're kind of called to do, let's say, or you can intuit. But I love that embrace the moment here. This is a great card for anyone, anywhere, regardless of what we're talking about. Remembering to focus on where you are at right now, what's happening around you right now, and enjoying like the sun, the fruit, or the food, or whatever it is, the drink, the wine, whatever your current surroundings are, even just solitude and peace and quiet, or being able to listen to your music by yourself for a moment and just like be. So many like hidden messages, many messages here. Obviously everyone's body is different, and this is just one pile to help you kind of decipher what's right for you in this moment. But that's what I see in your cards today, so thank you very much for being here. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello pile number 2, welcome to your reading. So you picked the Cancer card, which I think it might be still Cancer, I'm not too sure if it's Leo now. Not very good with keeping up with astrology. But Cancer, we've got nurturing, sensitive, and caring. Actually, I think it will be still... Can't remember, I'm pretty sure it's still Cancer season. Anyway, regardless, you've chosen Cancer with nurturing, sensitive, and caring. So very nice card to pick for your body, or a message from your body. So we'll start off with these ones. Oh right, that's right, this flipped up. This flipped up in the shuffling portion of the video, and I thought, oh, maybe this will help people pick. It is lighting up Aries, which is the first house. It's got self, body, and presence. And you've got Cancer with nurturing, sensitive, and caring. So if there might be something here, if you do have your Cancer in your first house, that might be kind of like, oh, interesting. This might be a good message for you. But even if you don't, even if you're not Cancer, or if you don't have any Cancer kind of placements, we'll have a house in there somewhere, but other placements as much, that's still something to look at. And also we're talking about the body, and this is talking about you, so it's definitely talking about you in the moment, and definitely looking after yourself and taking care of yourself. Maybe you take care of others more, which is really nice, but if we're not taking care of ourselves, how can we take care of others if we crash? Yep, slow and steady wins the race. So you've got the turtle spirit. Very cool. I love a good like sea turtle. Okay, so you also have achievement with completion and rewards. This was reversed. I'm keeping it reversed because this feels like meaning well, but not finishing what you've started with yourself. That's how it kind of feels. It's like on a diet, or like, looking after yourself, or like learning something for yourself, like studying, whatever it is, and just not being completely dedicated to it. That kind of, if that's the case, that kind of says it's not about you, like not saying anything bad or negative about you, but it's more like maybe that's not the right diet, or the right study, or the right thing that will actually give you the space. maybe something else will, like a massage, or can't think of anything right now, but like maybe trying a different diet, right? Or eating something that you actually enjoy, but that's not, loaded with whatever nasties you're trying to minimize in your regular diet. But I do like it because it does feel like it'll flip once you find what you actually want. But right now, take your time, be patient with yourself, be nice with yourself. It's going to be slow and steady if you're trying to make body alterations, like lose weight or feel more energized. It takes time. It takes a while to get into that habit and routine, because this feels kind of surface level with the self, body, and presence. It feels like there might be stuff deep within, right, caring wise, but I feel like the surface, which is important because our bodies, we do care about our bodies and how we are presented and look for ourselves, right, as well as it's nice when others kind of say nice things to us. Interesting. This is not what I would expect Jesus to come out with, but we've got Master Jesus with forgiveness. You are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father healing is possible at this time. I leave him to you to contemplate, whether it is around Father healing or just knowing you're on the right path. So you want to be healthy and good and, fill your environment externally, even around you, with the things that help you move in the right direction. And you also have relationships, which is super interesting, being right in the center of this when I have all the cards out of the reading, with relationship and Father healing. There might be something, the deepness here, talking with the Cancer, like nurturing, sensitive, because you can either be that, and then once, like the Cancer or the Crab always feels like, nurturing, loving on the inside, right, and they exude it, but they also are very shut off in some senses to their own kind of like health and looking after themselves in a sense. So it's interesting, but it might stem from some longer term connections, or maybe it's about wanting your actual relationships to become more prominent, let's say, in your life at this moment. And again, slow and steady wins the race, and you've got this like achievement thing. It's going to get there. It's just got to be you got to be in the right mind frame. Mind frame, is that right? In the right mindset. I think mindset's the right way. Mindset to be able to take this on. I feel like for some people this is kind of heavy stuff with family, and then other people this is about looking around them for not what they need, but more like the inner work, wanting to attract something that they radiate. So they radiate love, they want to find someone that radiates love, so they can have a good connection. Whoever that's with, family, friends, or romance. Alright, so let's have a look at your tarot. You have the Knight of Wands. He always looks like, in this deck, for some reason, he always reminds me of like a romantic kind of character, even though it's not normally. That's more of like the Knight of Cups. But this one, for some reason, just feels like a down-to-earth kind of person. Like a very grounded. I don't know why. I think it's the rocks, like his plain look, I guess, or like not overly doesn't look fake, right? He feels real. Like there's something real about him. But if you want to take in traditional sense, Knight of Wands is that fiery one, that go-getter, that one that's like, go for it, it's like slow and steady, but then it's like rushing. So that's why I'm like, is this more about the actual guy in the picture, the natural setting, getting into nature, grounding, that kind of energy? But I feel like whatever it is, if you've got it within you, if you start, like if you're like a positive kind of like happy, you're going to attract that kind of energy, right? Of course you're going to attract the negative because it's like jealousy or like irritation because they don't they're like, why are you so happy kind of thing. But that's not what this is about. This is about just you kind of exuding what you want to attract. That's kind of like, even though this isn't yin and yang, it's Cancer, but it just feels like that kind of yin and yang, almost like coming together. Okay. You also have the Nine of Cups. Really nice. This is obviously like the dreams coming true, but I did say like a massage, maybe a bath. Maybe just a bath will be nice. To lighten your moods, to lighten things up. And when I say lighten things up, I feel like it's internal, like internally. To the outside of your actions and then attracting that kind of, because it's like good vibes out, good vibes back in, right? Something like that. Oh, okay, got the Knight of Wands again. This is definitely calling to action on, maybe it is this like healing thing, this forgiveness and connections. Maybe your body's talking about building bridges with people will help you feel like you've accomplished things. While this did come out reversed, I did have an intention for all the tarot cards anyway to be upright. These two can come out reverse, and so I leave them that way. Okay, and Seven of Wands. It's really interesting because there's so many wands here, but we do have slow and steady, and it's like, which one is it? It's that like, I feel like you can go forward with things, but don't expect to reach the goal anytime soon. It's more like the journey of body changes or, you know, relationship shifts. Even just a small shift, like connecting, and even if they're like rude and then you don't talk for a bit, that's still a connection because they'll be like, well, why are they wanting to talk? Blah, 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 blah. Like, you know, it'll start them thinking about things and they'll start getting, like, they'll start just contemplating it as to why, even though their initial reaction might be challenging. If this is relevant to you, if this isn't, take it as like, you know, slowly to the goal, the finish line, but moving forward with your plans. That's how it's more implemented, whatever this is about. Like, that's more of like cherry picking this and not too focusing on this, but I don't know. We'll see here. But then we've got the Seven of Wands, which can be kind of defensive in a sense. Not always. It's like standing up for your rights. And I think that really touches in here with standing up for your rights. Not really standing up for your rights, but what you believe and what is true. What is actually true, not what you... I mean, look, anyone can have different feelings about certain events and changes and that kind of thing. So what you feel is true, right? But sometimes if you don't have all the information, then we can feel something without knowing why we're feeling that way, or we don't have all the information. So this is a time to kind of like stand up for yourself, but also open yourself up to building bridges, changes, revitalizing connections, because I think that's how you get back into this feeling. I think the external world's going to really help with your self-care. But yeah, very interesting one. I feel like for some people, the majority of this reading is based around everything with like connections and things like that, and then the other is around how you perceive yourself and what kind of goals have worked and haven't, and taking the good from that and remembering what didn't work, right, so we don't repeat it, but not living in it, just starting to go forward with the plans we've got, because it's not a coincidence that the Knight of Wands 1 comes out in both decks, but also in the same position kind of thing, like, you know, the first tarot card from these two piles. So it's just very true. And they're just very different too, because it's like, you know, this one is like a woman in a dress, I guess a lizard woman or a bearded dragon, I'm not sure. Some kind of lizard, and this is obviously a human, not a lizard, but still, you know, and they're both kind of like coming together, but she's also looking at the sun, like she's guided towards her goal of being happy and joyful, and that's going to one, depend on how we perceive things, but also I think it's going to help when we're talking about our connections and our relationships for sure. Interesting reading. Hopefully you have enjoyed. I'm going to leave that one there. This will flip up. It's just going to take longer than you expect. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to take some time. So that's the message I see from your body. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading today. So this is a message from your body, and you have chosen Taurus with tactile, grounded, and stable. Okay. Always a nice thing to be grounded and stable, right? Because that's our foundations. And if our foundations are wobbly, then the rest of us can kind of wobble when something, especially lower down, starts to shake. So we'll see how this comes through with regards to a message from your body. Okay, well, there we go. You've also got Earth with pragmatic, grounded, and enduring. Okay, well, very, very obvious just with these 2 cards looking at your foundations. And that can be where it's either going back, if it's like psychological, it might be going back to where the root of a cause of some kind of feeling comes from, or if it's like your plans. So like, for example, if you're planning to diet, what's your intention with it? Why are you doing it? Are you doing it just because, or is there like clear intentions? Okay, so it's because of B, like you want to look attractive, right? Or something like that. Or you believe that, losing weight or whatever it is will help you look attractive. But why do you need to, like, what's this about? Where does this come from? And then you just keep going back until you kind of uncover it. It's not to change your mind, it's just to be clear with what it's about, and then you can kind of go forward with what will actually work, what will actually help towards that feeling, because it'll be a feeling of something, like a feeling of attractiveness, a feeling of beauty. It always starts within, of course. So I'll get through the cards eventually, and then we'll have a look at that. Okay, so you have the cat spirit with claim your independence. This is like self-mastery when it's reversed. It feels like it's kind of like almost feeling out of, like you have no control, or you lack some control, self-control maybe, when it comes to certain things around your body or your decisions. It's like, I'll buy this gym equipment thing, that'll do it. But if you have no intention of working out or anything, why are you buying it? Or it's like, well, I did have intention. When I got it, I was going to work out. There's got to be a plan. There's got to be something else. It's got to be something that actually excites you, right? You can even get like a week gym pass, or like a week-long gym pass, and just go try the equipment and see what works out. Not to say you go home and buy that gym equipment, but like just work on a few things, see what actually is enjoyable, what's fun, like a class or something, or yoga or whatever. This doesn't always have to be about that kind of stuff. It could be even food. Like, try some different foods. Just be like, oh, I don't like this, I'm picky with this, I'm picky with that. Try it, just try it. Like, tell yourself to shut up and just try something different. And then just see if that will actually help out. Obviously don't tell yourself shut up, but just be like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Like, I'm going to take a chance and try this weird food, or from whatever country it is, like something foreign that I haven't tried before, or a piece of fruit that I have never tried before. You might surprise yourself and shock yourself, because while we might have a thing of like, I never liked this as a kid, we're also not kids anymore. We're not 3 years old or 5 years old anymore. We're adults, or teenagers, or however old you are watching this. You know what I mean? It's like, things change, we change. Our parents grow older, our kids get older, things like that. Like, things change, the world changes. We start worrying about certain things that we didn't care about before, because things change. So you can change too. You might even like certain things a bit more now than you had. But it's about installing your own sovereignty over yourself. And if we don't feel like we have control of our, it's not like we need to be controlling of our body, but if we don't feel like we we have any kind of like say in what we eat or do. Like, you know, mentally sometimes we feel like the food controls us or something else like controls our energy. You know, that can be kind of feel dangerous. So definitely something to look at with the cat. Also, maybe just give your cat a cuddle. Yeah. Okay. Animals. You've got this. This is reversed. So I'll read this upright. It says animal energy and powers. This is definitely getting back into your... there feels like a lack of something, which is interesting because you've got Taurus and Earth, which is very grounded. So if you don't feel like you have control of even your own self or emotions or thoughts, that can be... I was going to say something else, but it's like coming up with just debilitating or like... just kind of like not really giving up. I wouldn't say giving up, but just like it is what it is kind of thing. And sometimes it is what it is, but when it's ourselves, we do have some control over what we do and eat and say and etc. I wouldn't say some, we have most control over that kind of thing. So definitely a time to look into that. Where do we want to put our energy and reclaim our not just independence but our own sovereignty over ourselves and our power, own empowering ourselves, but actually our own energy, control, having mastery over our own energy. That's why I was like, this is self-mastery. This is like almost like, I don't know what kind of class this would be. I don't think any class exists, but it's like a class of being able to have sovereignty of yourself, something like that. Maybe there is something like that out there. Who knows? There's everything out there. I love that Buddha's coming out. This might be a good thing. You know, breath exercises and even meditation might be a good start. Obviously up to you. That's just what I get with Buddha straight away. Talks about increased awareness, and I think this is like, instead of just giving in to whatever this is about, it's starting to have a good balance between flow. Because I would say sometimes like flow can turn into detachment and just not caring or not giving any ownership over what you're doing, right? Like it's like being out of control, but nothing's actually happening. So it's kind of like, it's a weird state. But anyway, it talks about deep connection and trust your inner voice. Yeah, it's definitely about you doing this, not about anyone telling you, not about even me talking about it necessarily telling you. But I'm not telling you what to do, right? I'm just saying, try different things. Try getting back into a space where you feel like you have say over certain aspects of yourself. Oh, I do love this. So you've also got synchronicities. It says here, are you noticing the signs of synchronicity that spirit world has been sending to you at this time? People and situations in your life are not just appearing by coincidence. In reality, they're being guided to you from spirit world to help you for a specific reason. Okay, so there could be also assistance or even signs. Sometimes numbers will pop up or feathers or insects. It was funny, I was on the bus today and I was just coming home and I was thinking of a ladybug. I don't know why, I was just like, why is a ladybug popping into my head? Because I've seen one ladybug since I've lived in this house and I've been here for a few years. And anyway, on the way home, I was just walking past some plants and there was a ladybug sitting there on one. Literally, probably about 20 seconds after I thought about it on the bus. So sometimes those mean something. And to me, it was just kind of saying like, hey, like, you know, it was just like a reminder that I'm always kind of surrounded by, you know, at least guides or the universe or God or whatever you want to kind of put as the meaning. All right, so we've got the Queen of Cups. Really nice. This is about nurturing yourself and others. Making sure the give and take of like caring for yourself and others is there. This is about making sure you're good for you so you can be good for others as well. But she's also the most psychic, right? So she's an interesting one. She's the most psychic in the deck. I mean, I would have always thought that would have been the High Priestess, but sometimes the like highly intuitive can be The ones you may not fully expect, but definitely the ones that have like a magical way of looking at life. And I think getting the magic back into your life is definitely important here. Alright, so you also have the Lovers card. So really nice. There was something that I was thinking about today with the Lovers card, because I pull a card every day for myself just to, see how day's going. And I pulled the Lovers card today and I was looking at it and there was something on it. I just want a quick look at what I put. Yeah, it says here, like this is just like the very some basic keywords. It's like attraction, love, beauty, trials, overcome. So overcoming trials. Definitely can see that with what this is about. Your foundation getting solid so you can feel confident with like almost the magic that you have inside you being coming out. But you'll definitely enjoy it once this is kind of worked on. It's not just doing work for the sake of working, it's doing it for the sake of living. That's kind of how it's feeling. Ooh, I love that. You got the Wheel of Fortune. Definitely, especially up with synchronicities. These two being right next to each other is really interesting. So it's like good things that are like good changes, good wacky kind of stuff. Like, unknowns. When I say wacky, it's not crazy, but it's like just unexpected. Like I feel like something unexpected will come through with this as well. That doesn't mean you wait for it. You obviously do this, but I think that's what will happen once you kind of look into this, look into what your body is saying. I feel like now with this, it's like exactly what this is about. It's just taking back the reins. Okay, and you also have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, something ending. Something has to give in. I think it's like the ending of this feeling almost. This the kind of like I don't know if this is like depression or like it's not saying that work on this, it'll cure it. It's more like you work on this, you'll be able to manage it much easier than what has had happened before. Or even a going from if it's like a pain threshold of something, it's like going from a 9 to an 8 permanently. That is still improvement, and that's still better than being stuck at a 9 or just giving up at 9, right? It's still progress. But I don't think it's going to be that kind of small. It feels like it will be more than probably what you expect. And if it's not, it's definitely something else. But that's going to be very interesting to see how that comes through. But this is about, this core or foundation, like the inner. It's deep, like this deep connection is like very, very internal feelings and thoughts. Getting those stable will help so much other things. I feel like it'll help even like things that you didn't even think about. Like it was like, how does that relate to that? But it'll just work out, and it's like, well, hang on, why am I even thinking about it? It worked out, so let's just go with that. It's good. Good, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take the win. Take the wins for sure. But animal totems are like very primal too, like instinctual. So again, that's like survival. So it could be around your root chakra, could be around like family roots. Like it's very like down at the beginning, the base. Which sometimes root chakra thinks of like survival, hunter gatherer kind of like base level stuff. Starting with that, I think will help kind of, because once you've done the first step, that's like the next step just follows, right? It just keeps going. I hope this makes sense. It's an interesting reading. Anyway, in the comments, let me know if you have any questions, because I'm happy to like look at the question and go back to the reading and have a look, because I think maybe someone has something. But otherwise, thank you for letting me read for you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading today. So really interesting, you've chosen Eros with eroticism, desire, and sex. This is the first time this card's come out, because obviously it's not, I mean, maybe, depending on what kind of thing you're looking for, but it's not something that generally comes up. So eroticism, desire, and sex. Okay, let's see how this spicy card comes into your reading. Oh, okay, interesting, sorry. You've also got the supermoon with luminosity Intimacy and hyper-awareness. Okay. Interesting that we've got, eroticism and sex with intimacy. There's definitely a difference between them, right? Sometimes we can think more of this, that means more love or something like that. Not always, but definitely something. I'm trying to use the right words because the ones that are popping in my mind seem a bit inappropriate, but not really. Like, it's definitely like, reading those romance novels or something like that. It feels like that's. Anyway, hyper awareness. Hopefully that helps you know exactly what this is about. It's definitely like a rush of energy. Okay. Okay, interesting. You've got Armadillo Spirit with set healthy boundaries. Now, a message from your body talking about boundaries when it's reversed is definitely talking about your current boundaries and structure and what you've been attracting. Especially with this, it's like what you've been drawing into yourself with the supermoon. What have you been kind of intentioning? What have you been sending out? It's like you're kind of drawing in what you've been getting, but have you been getting fulfillment with whatever this is? This doesn't have to be necessarily about sex. It can be also about how we feel about our external selves and our internal world too, in some sense. But setting healthy boundaries, it might be time to look at boundaries that are now turned into walls and that actually now kind of blocking you from progressing. Or maybe you've had boundaries that weren't there, and so now it's time to put in certain boundaries so when people cross it, you can call it out or flag it as a red flag, something like that. Interesting. Another reverse card, you've got relaxation with peaceful pursuits and happy times, and when it's reversed, it's kind of completely opposite. It's too fuzzy or it's too vibratory. So this might be a good time to slow down, especially with the bed, like not the bed, the hammock, and the armadillo. Like, not a very fast moving kind of creature, not more meant for bulk or for defense, more so than speed and agility. But when this is reversed, it's talking about things being a little bit too like busy, which I think is like almost like for some of you, this is what you kind of want. You want that busyness, but you also want that maybe you want it all. I don't know, like you want everything. But something's not fulfilling, and I think that's the feeling. The feeling's what you should be chasing instead of the external thing that you think will bring that. We'll see. I haven't even got all the cards out, so let's go with that. Okay, so you've also got Gaia with Earth connection. Be mindful of the planet, come back to Earth, stay grounded. Yeah, this is a very big sign of not just grounding. We'll see what this is actually. Okay, Animal Kingdom, which talks about instincts, like animal instincts kind of is feeling like this. Sometimes this card specifically talks about how connected, like when we're around farm animals or our pets, we have this kind of sense of connection, right, with the world, because we're thinking outside of ourselves. We're thinking outside of ourselves. But the Earth card is also about, instead of being pie in the sky thinking, this is about what's actually true right now, not what the fantasy novels. Maybe that's why they were popping up in my head. The kind of like, romance novels, the ones where, I don't know, the guy has like his chest out or something. You know those books, what I'm talking about, the kind of erotic books. Yeah, it's definitely coming to like that. So I think it's kind of like touching on making sure that what you're seeing is the truth, not what you're looking at and then seeing something else. So it's kind of like looking at a ball and going, that is an apple, and it's not. It's a ball. It's a ball. It's a white ball or something like that. It's not a green apple. You're like, that's a green apple, and you're like, no one can convince me that's not a green apple. You'll see that sometimes on what's that show? catfish. Like even when they figure it out and it's all there, they're still like, there's got to be an explanation. He still cares or she still cares for me. Though that kind of stuff. Not that I think you're at that level of like delusion, but it's just like remember to stay grounded and stay true. So especially with boundaries, make sure they're set and actually adhered to by yourself. It's not to restrict you, it's just to make sure that you are respecting yourself and your body. Okay, let's take a look at these cards. So you've got the King of Pentacles. Really interesting. I don't know if this is someone else, because it's almost like he's too busy with his things, right? He's like focusing on his own kind of self. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is a connection relationship or something else. But the King of Pentacles is generally a good sign. He's, accumulated certain things so he can help share it outwards and do what's right for people around him. And it's generally around wealth, time, something like that. Making sure you're getting the time for the things you want to do. Maybe you're the King of Pentacles wanting to spend more time on your own self instead of worrying about what other people are doing. Yeah, potentially. Four of Swords, really interesting one as well. This could be from past kind of love connections as well and needing to, I guess, heal that, because the Four of Swords is after the Three of Swords, which is, everyone will know, it's like, if you know tarot, it's probably the card that people don't like to get, but it's generally about like heartbreak or challenge, right? And so afterwards is the Four of Swords, the need to put that to bed or need to move on or heal, or both, or all. Okay, so you've got the Eight of Cups, which is like what I said, moving on from. Very similar, because it's like mentally and also emotionally. Shifting from that, or shifting from what you thought was supposed to be, but it came through as differently. Maybe it was more about this than the truth. Who knows? Past things can be harsh sometimes, because we can go around in circles with those kind of feelings and thoughts as well. Again, touching on the loyal kind of beings that are actually there for us as well. I feel like this is more grounding. Nature, animals, connecting with the earth, grounding, actual like meditation for grounding, or sometimes you can eat food that's grounding, like beans, like brown or like red foods, like is very grounding, or earthy, things that have been dug up out of the earth, like very grounding. Sweet potato, whatever. Okay, lots of melancholy now. Now I'm getting the full picture. Six of Cups. I always like to read anyway, because I think for some people it'll pick up along here, and then once I've done, I just say, well, whoop-de-whoop about the whole thing. But Six of Cups, definitely that melancholy, remembering how things were, maybe here, maybe some kind of connection that was like exciting, but the boundaries were kind of crossed and weren't adhered to, and you knew that, and you kind of just let it happen. And sometimes we can blame the other person, right? We're saying, well, you did this, but you didn't also adhere to your own boundaries that you set in place. And that's not to blame you, not to blame them. It's just to be like, okay, fair. Let's just move on from it anyway, because you have a whole life to live without worrying about the past. Okay, so your body has lots to say. I feel like this is respecting your body here as well. For some reason, she feels like she's respecting herself, not just from like an air point of view with the swords. It's also from like not just even an emotional point of view. It's like respect your physical form, like a respect of your physical body. Like you can say to yourself, you know what, I put you through a lot. With like food, or if I hurt myself, or like I let myself be hurt by others, or even if you had no choice, sometimes you can kind of be so hard on yourself with that. It's time to like be grateful, like thank you for putting up with the mental like side of me, the one that's making decisions, because I'm not always kind to you. I say this sometimes, it's like if we had a person say the things we say to ourselves, would probably run for the hills, right? We're really hard and critical on ourselves. So I think taking the time to respect ourselves, even though people, they're like, oh, that's a waste of time, it's really not. If we have time to say how stupid we are for doing something, or how dumb, or how ugly, or whatever, we definitely have time to say how beautiful, how appreciative of having, even just saying you have hands that move, because some people don't have that, they don't have that ability. So just being appreciative for being able to stand up and walk to the fridge or bathroom or make a coffee or drink coffee, you know, sometimes just small things like that just get us into a more higher vibration, or like, you know, just balanced, feeling balanced. And that's where animals and earth connection definitely come into place with this. It's interesting, I feel like Gaia kind of is almost coming through with like a connection of a meditation that I kind of do sometimes. I watch this channeler and she does kind of a meditation where she pictures herself, you know, like, I guess a lot of people have seen the roots growing into the middle of the earth, and seeing like a I guess like a radiant light in the middle of the earth, and that energy comes through, and then the energy from our heads going all the way up to the sun, and having like a, I guess like a light, we're like a light amplifier for connection with earth, and so it's like higher realms and lower, or like earthly, let's say. The energy of like knowledge and understanding, which the earth will have a huge amount, same with the sun, because they've been around a lot longer than us, and will remain a lot longer than we will be. So there's lots of like that kind of energy, but also connection, just feeling I guess balanced overall. Or you could just go pet your cat or dog or hamster or whatever you have. But I think something here. If this is someone else, it's like making sure you're getting your point across. If it's you, it's making sure you're doing something that's for you, just for you, like just for you, a hobby or something that's just for you. It's important. Kind of moving on from past things that were challenging, for sure. And that, I believe, you'll attract what you actually truly desire, and that will actually truly give you the feeling or the fulfillment that you're looking for. And that'll flip this into actual relaxation instead of like it's kind of like haphazard, I would say, haphazardly bumbling through. And then you get into a peaceful pattern, peaceful times. All right. And that's exactly what I see in your reading pile number 4. Hopefully this has helped, and if it has, please give me a thumbs up. But otherwise, take care of yourself, have a good day, and I'll see you in your next reading.